I did this picture yesterday, and the theme was my crush, which I've mentioned before. And I think this picture looks like a face, but it's another one that also looks like a face upside down. Kind of also looks a bit like the front of a ship or a boat at the bottom. And I can see lots of different shapes in there as usual, but what I can mainly see is there's like a female figure over on the right hand side. It looks a bit like they're talking to a snake, which obviously reminds me a lot of Eve. So I've just put it upside down as well. I think it works really well that way around as well, which is quite funny, except for that female is now upside down. So she might be getting a bit dizzy. So there's that female figure I mentioned. She's like got long blue hair, very watery sky type themes, sort of like this little window, and she's talking to this snake, a bit like a genie because it's sort of like emerging from a puff of smoke. This idea of like a Uraeus at the top, snake with a snake. So the front end of that part that I said looks a bit like a boat is this sort of figurehead that's got his head sort of slightly turned away from us. I'd put some funny shapes into the space because I don't like blank space very much. I don't think they mean anything. Face up above that, you can just sort of see the eye and then like a little bit of a mouth, looks a bit like a snail. And then I do see a bunch of faces here as well, sort of like a forest of faces maybe. Far left is sort of purple with a bit of green in their cheek. Next to them is someone with a blue face turned to the side talking to this other bigger person here. Looks a bit like they've got a helmet on. There's some different shapes in here too, and you can see a slight close up on that shape that I said looks a bit like a helmet. Possibly a bird or a squirrel right in the middle. Above that helmet type head, there's this lighter coloured face head that looks a bit like a unicorn because there's a horn on top. There's some other characters at the top. And then to the far right, someone looks a bit like the Straw Man. I think that's what it's called from The Wizard of Oz. He's either got a really long nose like Pinocchio or he's blowing smoke. There are some random squiggles up above the little window where the snake and the lady are talking. Not sure what that means, if anything. As far as I know, this person is single, but this might suggest that they've been chatting to somebody, maybe thinking about dating. Maybe they have trust issues if they're worried about her talking to snakes. Just a bit of fun. Thanks for listening, and please like and subscribe. That's the last one for today.